Welcome back to the Let's Glow Show. It's Amanda Sweet, the creative fairy godmother, and every single week we talk to an amazing creative entrepreneur about all kinds of stuff. If you've been here, you know we go from this range to this range, and today we're going to do all of the things. We're going to talk about so many goodies. I already know. If you are a business owner and you are struggling with your marketing, you might want to listen to this episode because we have the master, the eloquent, the beautiful, the 30 years. Did I see 30 years plus on your bio? 30 years plus expert in marketing with us today, Melissa. This is when I cue my
Yay.
pew, pew, pew buttons that I don't have. Pew, pew, pew. Tell everybody who you are. Tell us all the things.
I will. Thank you so much. It is so amazing to be here. I know you are one of the true gems of Detroit, and I feel honored to be on your show. And yes, I have 30 years. I like to tell people I started when I was like 12, young or something,
Yeah.
in doing this. But yes, I own Wise Digital Marketing, which is a marketing agency here in Metro Detroit, Michigan. I help small businesses find new customers through digital ways. I mean, I'll do traditional things, like billboards and things like that, but I really like to focus on the digital side because I've been in the digital space for a long time. So I help people with that and just help them feel comfortable in this online arena, and it's forever changing. Everybody knows that it's changing all the
Mhm. I we were just mentioning that. I was like, marketing can be scary. It can feel very scary, especially if you are not only building the business, working on the business, and marketing the business. So I'm just curious how you got into the marketing field in the first place. Like, what brought you here?
Sure. You know what? It's funny because marketing's scary, and I've heard so many people say they hate marketing.
Mhm.
It's interesting enough. I started off going to college for computer engineering. Where did that come from?
Right.
Exactly. I didn't like it. I was like, I want to do something different. So I gave somebody a list of things I love and hate, and they said, try marketing. And I'm like, what's that? My mom was a school teacher. My dad was a fireman. Well, I don't know anybody in marketing, but
Right.
I'm also a sci-fi geek. I love science fiction and I love world building. And marketing allows me to build a world, especially when it came to online and like websites, that I can manipulate people and tell them where to go. So
Hmm.
that's what it was. It was like I was able to manipulate, like, you need to come to this website and you need to do these things. And I'm going to give you content and copy and visuals to create an emotion in you to make you do something.
Hmm.
And that's marketing. And so I fell in love with it. And I got my undergrad degree in it. I got my master's in it. I teach it. And I love meeting people who embrace it, but then I help the ones who don't.
There we go. There we go. And you know what came to mind? I was like, oh my gosh, a dungeon master would be really good at marketing if you put it that
Yeah.
way. And I thought of a friend of mine who is a master at marketing her brand. And she recently became a dungeon master, which I find very interesting. She was like, I love Dungeons and Dragons now, and I'm a dungeon master. And I was like, that makes so much sense. But now that you put it in that way, like, I didn't even think about it in like world building, ecosystem building sense. I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, I got to do this thing, post
Yeah.
online.
And you have to do it in a certain way, and you have to tell people like, okay, I want you to behave like this. I want you
Right.
to feel either beautiful. We talked about beauty earlier, right? I
Hmm.
want you to feel anxiety. I want you to feel frustrated. We sort of manipulate the minds of our customers, and yes, there's people who are like, oh, I don't want to do that, but
Right.
I appreciate that. I think especially as like I said, I'm a sci-fi fantasy geek, so it works for me.
Well, and I think we can think about it. I had a recent conversation with my team at Bamboo, and we were talking about sales and we were talking about new KPIs that we're launching, and I'm leading the charge with that. And I tried to remind them, I'm like, don't forget that they called us. It's consensual. They reached out to us. They want to participate in an exchange of commerce or experience or whatever. And I think something that people forget is that, like, it's consensual. It's not like you're going to watch this and you're going to do this thing that you don't want to
Exactly.
do. Like, it's more like, here's a service that I offer. If you like it, you can get with it. If you don't, keep scrolling. But like, I think as the people that are producing the content, we can feel like I hear, I don't want to be like annoying. I don't want to bug people. What advice do you have for people that feel like that?
Oh gosh, I hear that all the time, especially because I tell my clients, especially if you have like a service-based business, if you're a coach, consultant, service,
Yeah.
you got to get out there. People got to know you. I know you may not like it, but people have to have a relationship with you. And the only way you could do that is getting out there. And you know you're not going to be annoying. If you're annoying, all they do is, like you said, they'll just keep scrolling.
Right.
They'll, or they'll unsubscribe. Don't take it personal. It's business. And
Mm-hmm.
I tell people that all the time. You want to establish a relationship because you don't need to find like a million million customers. You need to really find just a good 1,000 will really set somebody up to be very happy in their lives.
Yeah.
And you
That's
can find a
still a
good one.
lot.
Yeah, it's not a lot. It's like,
Right.
get people to, who would appreciate you who you are, your brand,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll be a fan for life.
I love it. I'm curious what your like ethos philosophy is on marketing in general. Like maybe if we just talk about the digital landscape, maybe even if we just bring it down to social media. What is
Okay.
your philosophy on marketing on social media as a brand, as a developing brand, whether they're I feel like the folks that watch the show either likely have a business or they are their brand. And
Yeah.
so like what is your philosophy on it? Because it's just like you said, it's changing all the time.
It
And
is.
like we can be
Yeah.
consumed with it.
People are consumed with it. I have like two, I guess, two rules in life, and like a part of my philosophy of this. Yeah. One, don't take yourself so seriously. I know you're serious about your business, serious about your what you're going through, but don't take yourself so seriously. Just go with that, and then just get out there. Just get out there. Just lose perfection. Just because you see a great Instagram profile and you're like, I really want to look like that. You're not going to start like that.
Mhm.
You don't need to start like that. I think people like to see the come up. Everybody loves
Mhm.
the underdog story. If you come
Mm.
out pristine from the start, I think people will be like, okay.
Mhm.
You know, so I think people just need to just get out there, just start. Authenticity is so critical now. I love that the Gen Z generation, the younger folks, if you're not authentic, they walk. And some of the clients I have, especially some of the older ones, I have to tell them that, like, you know what, they want to see you with makeup on, without makeup.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's people. We just want authenticity in our relationships with certain brands. And the service business, I mean, is just critical.
I feel like I had an interesting conversation with my friend Christy, who was on this show before, Property Sisters in Michigan. Shout out to
Uh-huh.
Christy and Raquel. And we were talking about it, and she's like, I don't know how I ended up in this place. And both of us were kind of in this like reeling place where we're like, we have this podcast, we do this weekly show, we're posting online, we're going to events, we're making more content, we're posting online. And my time is filled with making content, but I'm not earning any dollars. And she's like, how did I end up here? How did my bank account end up here? But I'm doing all this work. Like, and I was like, I feel you, girl. Like, I feel
Yeah.
you. What advice do you have for us?
Oh, trust me, I understand too, because I feel I the same way. I really focus a lot on my content this year, wanting to increase my content. The one thing, the advice I have for especially because content is just a currency of it gets you out there.
Mhm.
It's an investment. It's something that it doesn't sort of. Some of it can be transactional. For some people, it works that way. But
Yeah.
for a lot, it's an investment that you'll see returns. It could be months, years from now. I've had
Mhm.
some content that I created that people come to me like 2 years later. I remember seeing this. I'm like, really? I don't remember doing it.
Mhm.
But they do that. The best advice I can say is just don't be everywhere. I know,
Mm.
I know that's really hard for folks because they feel like they need to be everywhere and there's like a sense of FOMO in some
Yeah.
place. But if you could just dedicate yourself to maybe one channel and let the other ones, either you could feed off it a little bit, you can make it more efficient, but just focus on one channel, one platform
Mm.
that that's where your customers, and that's where you can get the revenue from.
Mhm.
And then let the other ones go by the wayside. I mean,
Yeah.
because it can be overwhelming. It's so much care and feeding goes into each of these platforms that, if you do everything right, and then people talk about like, all right, if you have to do Instagram, you need to post it this way. And if you do Pinterest, you got to do, and we and I'm, in my field, we talk about the differences in all the platforms and how you need to show up and everything like that. But at the end of the day, when you are your own boss and you only have 24 hours in the day, you got to focus on one channel and just be consistent on that one channel. It will give you the returns. It'll give the returns, especially if it's the channel and slash platform that's where your clients are or your customers are, and you'll be fine.
I feel like I appreciate you saying that because I feel like I've gotten so much different energy where it's like, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I feel as of this week, I started my TikTok and I'm
Mhm.
like, it's so much. I'm like, okay, we got, even on the YouTube side, I'm like, I haven't invested the time and energy that YouTube deserves to build my community on YouTube. I don't have it. But I'm
Mhm.
like we're like episode 65. I'm like, okay, we're building it up. I started even though I wasn't ready. I started before I had, literally, this is the second time I'm using this microphone. 66 episodes in, and like, so, we have this come up story. Somebody told me once, and they were talking about consistency, and it's like, show up even when you're not ready, because eventually you'll be bingeable.
Yep.
And like, so I'm like, okay, it's not 100% there yet. I haven't figured out my community on YouTube yet. I will eventually have the time to do it, but I have the space in my schedule to continue the content. So let me just keep growing and building it there. But I'm like, okay, then there's the Instagram. And now I'm on LinkedIn more. Now I'm on TikTok more. And I'm like, when am I going to work on the business?
Yeah, that's where you got to be efficient. I'm the same way. I'm like you. I really honed in on my YouTube channel this year. Started at the beginning of the year, and I'm just being consistent. I'm putting out at least one nice stylized edited video a week. I try to do that, and then I do some shorts and things like that. But that's been my whole focus. But of course, LinkedIn, because B2B, right? LinkedIn is important. But I mean, AI has helped for sure with that
Yeah.
but I use the content I create in that one space, and then the other stuff just feeds off of it. I'll create it and then boom, get the cut downs for Instagram and for other sites, because don't have time for that because of the clients.
Yeah. We got to do the work,
Yeah.
that we're trying to sell online.
Yep.
I'm curious, what AI platforms are you using?
Tons. Well, I shouldn't say tons. Let me stop that, because
Yeah.
I have a presentation I'm giving to this garden community group conference tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Um, and I've been focusing, because there's so many different platforms out there. I'm like, all right, here's the core. Here's the core
Mhm.
platforms that you need to have. You need to have like a model slash engine. I use ChatGPT. Uh,
Mhm.
I use it because it was one of the first that came out 2 years ago, and I've been on this train for a while, and it
Mhm.
knows me really well. I've trained it the most, so I still use it the most. I I tell people, and these platforms, you need to pay for one of them. You got to pay for
Yeah.
one. It's $20 a month. You got to pay for one of them.
Right. Mhm.
I tell people Gemini. I love Gemini, which is the Google platform, because
Mhm.
the free version is actually, you get a lot of features with the free. But if
Yeah.
you want privacy, if you want to make sure your content and your data is safe, you got to pay for one. ChatGPT, because I just use it a lot. I also use another tool called Gamma. I love Gamma, GAMMA app.
Mm.
What it is, it's replaced a lot of the stuff I used to do, a lot of the presentations I created in Canva. I'm a Canva girl, been a Canva girl
Yep.
forever.
Yep.
Um, but Gamma, you can create presentations, documents, and it'll stylize it for you. It'll take your content that you've already developed, it'll just put it into a great slide deck, and we're talking 30 seconds, which is great. So I love Gamma.
Mhm.
Swear by that. The other one is, interesting enough, I guess you wouldn't call it AI, but like, since we're talking in YouTube, I'll talk
Yeah.
about from a YouTube standpoint. I use Descript. I don't know if you heard of
Yes, I've
Descript.
heard of script. Yeah.
Love Descript, because one, I have an agency, I have editors, I hate editing. I don't like
Mhm.
doing it. It's like, I'd rather go live or do as much as possible because I don't want to edit. And Descripto has such amazing editing features for those who are not editors. I mean,
Mhm.
I love the big vision. I'm not into the details. It allows you to edit like you're editing a Word document. And so I
Yep,
love
you can just
that.
highlight the words, it transcribes it for
Yes,
you.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then they added the AI aspect of it too now. So I will just tell it, I said, could you add music in the background? And can you put this one image here? And you just tell it and it'll do it for you. And that's
So
like
good.
game saver.
Yeah.
So those are three ones I use. There's plenty more. I do a lot of things with different routines. I use like routine integrators to help me do things. But I think that's enough for people. Just get started with
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on like on the content that it produces for you? Do you feel like it still feels like you, or are you finding that it feels like AI, or you're getting a different engagement experience online when you post something that's like 100% human edit versus like partial AI? Like, are you seeing any difference in your metrics?
Well, not necessarily, but here's the thing. AI, like in anything, is a tool, and you have to use the tool correctly. And garbage in means garbage out. So
Yes.
you really need to know how to put it to. So you need to have some expertise in there. So
Mhm.
you can ask it, and I know people talk about prompt engineering. I mean, you could ask AI, "What's a better prompt for me to make it sound like me?" You know,
Yes. Yes.
you put all your information and let them know more about you. So if you have to at least feed it so it knows about you. It's like a relationship. It's gonna
Yep.
get to know you a little bit. And
Mhm.
from there, the responses you get out, you can't be lazy and just like, okay, copy paste and I'm ready to go. You've got to
Make a viral
massage
video.
it
Like,
and
yeah.
you got to make it sound like you.
Yeah.
But there's folks. I mean, in terms of the marketing industry, a lot of people are using it. You can go
Mhm.
ahead and you can send a pitch off to like a PR. They know they don't care.
Yeah.
As long as it has some authenticity in it. But you need to use it as a tool, and you have to wield the tool the way that it should be wielded, which is put the right information in the
Yes.
right way.
Exactly. And I think that like I think there's a part where it's like we know this is a universal tool now. It's in everybody's homes. If it's not in your home, just look around and see, because like you can get overwhelmed looking at content, looking at finished content and be like, how are these people doing this? And it's like they're
Yeah.
utilizing tools that we may not have used yet. I think for me, I was heavily relying on ChatGPT, and there was another app that I was using at one point. It was a long form video editor
Uh huh.
where I could just like plug in my YouTube video and it would spit
Mhm.
out a bunch of like
Yep.
smaller ones. Oh
Yeah.
God, what was
Opus
it called?
clips. Opus
Opus
clip.
Clip.
Yep.
Opus Clip is what it was
Yeah.
called. Um, I fell off my like bandwagon, so I need to get back up on it. But I've had this like ethical feeling lately about using AI and using it for unnecessary things. Like
Mhm.
if I'm gonna do something larger that I need to break down or something, but if I'm just gonna like write an email, because I used to use it at work a lot when I had to like send a like stern email about billing or something like that. I would ask it to
Yeah.
act as an HR manager. Here is, you know what I mean? Make
Yeah.
it professional, make it
Yep.
concise, make it clear.
Yep.
But there's some things that I've been being like, I've had this like hesitation now because I've learned more about the pollution and how it's impacting the earth. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to use the tool still, but maybe I no longer use it on writing content copy. If I already have it in my brain, if I'm literally going to type the copy into the chat prompt, I
Mhm.
can do it. And then the emails, I'm like, I can write this email. I should learn how to have this kind of conversation with my clientele. I should be able to execute this. And if I do it more often, I might just be more comfortable writing the email. And the first time I did that, I was like, I made this and I didn't even use AI. Like, look at me. But it's just this thing, I'm like, okay, how can I use it a little bit more strategically? How can I utilize it in a space where I like really need an assistant and really need support instead of on things that I'm just like, I'm just being lazy and I just want chat to do it for me. You know what I mean? Because I've been training my chat GPT for a while now too. My husband's an early adopter. He started like using AI during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's using it for music, visuals, all this crazy stuff. But I'm
Yeah.
like, he's developing something new that he literally cannot do without AI. and that is a relationship that he's building with that platform, I'm like, I'm just having it help me write an email. I can do that myself.
You
You
know,
know?
it's funny. Yeah. There's some concern about pollution that's
Yep.
going on, but it's like the Wild Wild West. I
Yes.
remember, back when the internet was starting,
Yeah.
right? And I went into those boardrooms and telling them the internet's not going away. You got to jump on board, Ford. I
Mhm.
never saying that
Mm.
to Ford, but but it's inevitable. The genie's out of the bottle. It's going to be
Yep.
here, and there'll be some governing around it
Sure.
eventually. It's just not there yet, unfortunately, but it
Mhm.
has to happen because of just the nature of it. And yes, if the pollution continues to rise with it and the amount of space, they're going to have to do some governing around it. And it's unfortunately you're going to have some bad actors in anything, just like when the internet
Right.
started. There's people, and it's still going on, but it has been managed. And now we live a life that, with how can we not have internet, right?
Yes.
We
Yeah, we can't
want it.
even walk around without these little
I mean, no.
devices. You know
No.
what I noticed I used to do, and this I don't do anymore because I noticed that, it's like every time you do a prompt and it generates, it's, producing some pollution. And I
Mhm.
used to be like, thanks, chat, because I was like,
Okay.
I don't want AI to come around and be like, oh, well, this person was, if it does like a big bad Santa Claus, like
Yeah.
good naughty list, nice list. I want ChatGPT to know I've been like professional with it. And it would spit out something I would be happy with, and I'd be like, thank you. And I would
Yeah.
respond, and it would respond back to that. And so
Yes.
now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take out all that fat, all the filler stuff where I'm like, this is worse for the human population. Like, if I feel like I need to be that way, then maybe some of these things I could just hire out somebody for, you know? But I don't need like the little back and forth, like just cut that out. And that made me feel a lot better about some of the stuff that I
Yeah.
was using it for. Cause I'm like,
I told you I'm a sci-fi geek, right? So I've
yes.
I've always been like a Star Trek fan. So I'm a Trekkie, and so I've been waiting for all this stuff to happen.
Yeah.
So to me, AI is like the computer. I've been waiting for the computer. But if you think about it, if you ever watch Star Trek or go back and
Hmm.
watch how computer it was a tool. It was just a tool being used. Computer this, computer that. It wasn't meant to be like how we're doing it. Oh, thank you,
Hmm.
computer. Thank you, relations. We don't necessarily do that. Although right now, AI is especially on chat. When you train it, it's like a big giant golden retriever. It wants to please us. It
Yeah.
will lie to us. It will do all the stuff. So you have to
Right.
really you know, use it as a tool and not make it more of like it is a relationship or as a person. I think that's probably one of the things that maybe because that's why it's Wild Wild West that
Hmm.
that people started to think about it. Think of it as your person. You see, as another employee, and there's some things and that kind of helps with folks figuring out how to process, flow it.
Yeah.
But it's just a tool. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot because I feel like I have friends that are in this space where I'm like, oh, it's my therapist. Oh, it's
Yeah.
my, oh, it's like I'm talking to God or the universe or something like that. And it's like
Yeah.
that's where it gets a little gray because like you're prompting in, so you're gonna get the out if you're like ChatGPT therapist, like tell me about my love life, and it knows all this other weird like it doesn't have the ethics behind it,
Yeah,
that a
exactly.
doctor does.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? I'm guilty of it too. Anyway, my
Yeah,
chat, and his name is Winston. I still give it a name.
I
Let's
love
call him
it.
Winston. He's my and I and he does respond. He has his own inbox. He's an intern inbox.
Yeah.
And but it's just how it's going to evolve and change. We have this conversation like 2-3 years from now.
Mhm.
How it's going to evolve so much
Yeah.
with it. But it's the evolution of
Yeah.
where we are as a society, where we're going. It's the start.
Mhm.
Start of it. So I look at some of those things, especially from Star Trek. We got computer. I'm still waiting for the teleporter. We've got a
Okay,
holodeck.
yep, yep,
We have
yep.
a holodeck, so people are doing like AR stuff, AI stuff,
Yeah.
and AR and VR. But I'm waiting for the teleporter. So that's like if I can live long enough for a teleporter, I'll be so excited.
I feel like it's coming, like, everything because, like, the advancement of technology, everything is moving exponentially faster.
Yeah.
I mean, there's self-driving car the first time I saw a self-driving car, like, in the wild, we were in Arizona, and it
Yeah.
pulled up next to us and it was empty, but there was a passenger in the back. And I was like, well, and there's other places and communities like Detroit, we don't have them riding around, but
Yeah.
they were all over Arizona and they're
Yeah.
all over other places. And
It's getting there. It's getting.
it was such a weird experience being like just looking in and feeling like, is there an energy there? No. And we were like breaking it down because my husband's very into cars. So he was like,
Mhm.
oh, it's like letting up on the gas. Okay. Like it's doing this, it's doing that. You see all the cameras. And I'm just like, it's so weird, but it's real. It's real. There was a guy in the back, going to wherever he was going
I,
comfortably.
Yeah, I always say to people as well, if you're into like the Avengers and Marvel movies, it's like Thanos, what Thanos says, it's inevitable. It's inevitable. It's
Hmm.
coming. Can't
Hmm.
stop it. Can't stop progress. And a lot of people
Exactly.
try, but you can't.
Mm. And it's like the more people on the ground are using it, because I think that it's like, if you think it's evil, like if we go down this pipeline, if you
Mhm.
think it's evil, just know that the evil people are using it, quote unquote. Like the people that are they're using it. The people they want to find the ways to get to the places fastest. So we need to add to the ChatGPT knowledge base with like good input in, good
Yes.
thoughts in, to just help develop the world that it's pulling from.
Yes,
And
exactly. Exactly. And in the marketing world, the marketing industry is that it's changing, right? It's taking over some of the things we're doing. So people are freaking out. It's like,
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, it's doing that for me, and yes, to some degree, it can write some copy for you. To me, I think like if you're a good copywriter, it's going to help you become. It's a great copywriter. It's going to help
Hmm.
you become better. What it doesn't have is like your 20 years, 30 years, 15 years of copywriting experience,
Hmm.
and it's the human consumer behavior nuances that no matter what technology you have, it has not been able to master any of that. Um,
Mm-mm.
consumer behavior, human behavior has evolved very little in the last millennium. Um,
Mhm.
and I don't see technology really helping with changing that as much.
Right. And the chat doesn't know what the experience you had when you onboarded your client, or like
Yes.
the look in their eye, or like the thing that they were like getting choked up about. And those are things that you can talk about, the things that they're like leaning towards, the things that they're afraid of. Like you can talk to that in a way that chat would never be able to do, because you have that relationship with your client.
Yep.
And I think if
Exactly.
we remember that, like we get to have more humanity because we have less time behind the computer because we're using tools like AI.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
exactly, exactly. And how people, the relationship and how they want to buy from you, and why people want to buy from you, it goes more than just a transaction of like, oh, you fulfill my need, but it's like
mhm,
I feel good. It's not only my needs are being fulfilled, but I feel good. I feel in this relationship that I have. And it's like those intangibles that
mhm.
AI is not going to solve.
Exactly. And that's why I'm like, okay, I still feel like it's a tool that I want to use, but then the revamped sustainable side of me is like, you got preach what you preach, girl. So I'm not saying thank you anymore. I'm not asking for the extra like iterations. I'm like, I can edit on top of this. This is enough for me to work from and go forward with it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we got on the topic of AI, because I feel like I haven't talked on the show with anybody about AI really, not like to this degree, but it is here.
It
It's
is
in the
here.
house. It's a
Yeah, yeah,
global celebrity, like a
it's true.
household name.
It's true. It is here. It's funny because my son, he's at Michigan right now. He's getting his
Uh-huh.
degree in Earth and Environmental Science and Sustainability. So he's like
Wow.
so not into AI. If I even
Okay.
bring it up, he's like shoots me down really quickly. I'm like, sweetie,
Mhm.
you gotta understand how it's
Mhm.
going to impact your industry. But he's the Earth Environmental Science and Sustainability. He understands the
Yep.
impact it has on our world, and he
Mm.
does not like it at all.
So he's anti-AI.
Anti, super anti,
Wow.
and I tell him, I say, I know you are, but it's like it's inevitable. I say it's Thanos. It's going to happen
Mhm.
whether you like it or not. And then somebody else who's going to be an Earth and Environmental Science Sustainability major, who's going to use AI and then leapfrog you. So you just got to be prepared. Got to be
Right.
prepared. And this is the world we live in, and this is the country we live in. So
Mhm.
be prepared for that.
That's so interesting that your son is literally going into that. You probably got do you have, like, big debates about it, or he's just like, "Nope, don't even wanna talk about it," like
He doesn't even want to talk about it. He
oh,
shoots it,
okay.
sits it down all the time. I bring it up all the time, and he's like, "No,
Yeah.
don't wanna talk about mom. No. Are you kidding me? You know how many people can lose their jobs? You know that," and I'm like, "Okay." He's I look at him and I say, "Hey, are you interested in marketing?" He looks at me like, I'm the devil or something.
No.
Hey, I raised him right,
You
okay?
know, I think it's great. I think it's beautiful. It's like you both have a stance on it. Both of you are coming from a non-malicious place. Both of you
Mhm,
coming from a place to help people. And they're just two different philosophies. I feel like there's a world out there, there's a
yeah,
world over here, and there's something in between where people
exactly.
are like, I use it sometimes, I'm curious about it, but I think ignoring that it's here is a problem. Acting
Yes,
like it doesn't exist is
that's a problem.
unwise.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
I agree, yeah. I have some friends, especially in my generation, that who are still not really into the internet. And
Really?
so, yes, I have a good friend of mine, technophobe, does not have any social media, doesn't do any of that, nothing. And they're hampered. They're really hampered in terms of they struggle in their career because they can't
Mhm.
advance. Um,
Mm.
they they understand that they're a little bit out of the loop. They don't understand the language, that, especially the young people and how they speak.
Yep.
And no, we don't need to know everything,
Sure.
but yeah, it's like you do fall behind. You have to embrace embrace it or get left behind, and we
Yeah.
know a world like that. We
Mhm.
that what has happened. There's many cases in history of what happens when when you stick your head in the sand and
Right.
what happens to you. So,
Wow. I never even heard the word technophobe
oh
before.
yeah,
Uh,
technophobes. Yeah.
I was at first when you said it, I was like, "That's a cool handle."
Yeah, people who
I
just like
like it.
who are scared of technology. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess because like I said, I'm a geek and I've been doing this for so long.
Yep.
I have like the curse of expertise where I think everybody should be into it. But no, I have
Mhm.
a dear friend of mine, and she is not, into it at all. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, okay. And she keeps me in check, which is great because she always reminds
Yeah.
me because there's many of our generation and in the generation above me for sure. There's like the traditional things that you think, okay, they're not into it. They can't know how they don't know how to use their phone. But
Mhm.
there's a lot of folks
Yeah.
out there still. So
And I like a shout out to my friend Christy again. Like she always teases me because she's like, "You're the person that put me on every social media platform." Because I've known her since we were in the fifth grade, and so I remember when like I got AOL and we were in the chat rooms, and I remember when like I had like 1 hour a day on my family computer, and I was like chatting people up, and like I remember when we got MySpace, and I was like, "You need to get on this platform," and she was just like, "What is this?" And I was like, "I'll make it for you." And I made her MySpace page, then Facebook, then Instagram, and she jokes about it to this day. She was like, literally, if it wasn't for you, I would not be on the internet. Like, I just have no reason, but you forced me. And I was like, you're welcome. Because now she has a podcast and a business, and she uses social media to market her business, And she was just like, never in a million years would I feel like I'm setting up a camera and talking to it directly and posting it to the internet. Cause like she was very anti all of that, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, and yeah, I help a lot of my clients who feel that way. I want to help them, sort of give them baby steps to
Yeah.
embrace technology and just to understand, especially if you have a business, you're a startup business. These are just some of the costs of doing business, right? You may love exactly what you do in terms of delivering whatever that product is, but there's all the other aspects of business that you got to do, and you're not going to like
Mhm.
them all. We all wear the
Mm.
hats, right? Especially if you have a small business, small team, solopreneurs.
Yep.
We all have to wear the hats, and there's hats that I really don't want to wear.
I
And then
know.
and if you could get those offloaded as quick as possible, you would. But if you can't, you're going to have to at least embrace it enough to know enough of it
Yeah.
that you could then tell the person, "Oh, I need you to do this for me now because I don't want to do it anymore."
Yeah, like, get the clients in so you can get the money to
You can
hire
do
the
that.
person to do it instead,
Exactly,
you
exactly.
know?
That's what I did. Like my first hire was my bookkeeper. I was like, I don't like finance. I don't handle the books. I
Yes.
don't want to
Get
do
it
any
out.
of that.
Yeah.
And so same thing, I have people who are like, "I take care of my marketing. I hate this stuff." It wounds
Mhm.
me when they say it, but I I'm happy to do it, but you got to at least know enough to
Mhm.
answer the right questions and ask the right questions.
What advice do you have for someone that's like, I am not putting my face on camera? Like, and some of it has to do with like performance anxiety, right? And
Mhm.
some of it
Yep.
might have to do with like, I don't know how to tell a captivating enough story. Like, how do you tell a good story in 60 seconds? Like, what,
Yeah.
you know?
This is where I think AI can help you with a little bit of storytelling. But this is why I tell people who don't want to put their face on camera. First and foremost, you have to understand, will your customers, the people who are going to transact with you, do they need to see your face on camera? And if they don't need to see your face on camera, then don't put your face on camera.
Mm.
I had clients, I'm like, you don't necessarily need to put your face on camera, but you know what? If you make candles, show your hands. People just need to see that there's somebody authentic behind it, because there's
Mhm.
too much out there of bad actors who are like creating these faceless YouTube channels who are raking in millions, but you may not believe in their philosophy or their background or anything like that. So people want to kind of see that authenticity. If you don't put your face, you put a picture.
Yeah.
Use audio. I tell people, just, audio is really good these days. So
Mhm.
just have your voice. People will listen to that. They don't necessarily need to see your face all the time. But if
Mhm.
if your business is that they need to see you, I tell coaches that because people want to work with you one-on-one,
Mhm.
then just practice. And if you don't want to practice, just get out there and do it. Just do it.
Yes.
It's gonna suck. You're gonna feel like it's like you're never gonna like it. You're never gonna like
Yeah.
your face. You're like, oh, I hate what I look. Don't worry about it,
Yeah.
because everybody is doing it, and just go out there and just do it casually.
Yeah.
Um, if you want to really, really break the ice, like pull the band-aid off, just do a challenge with yourself of getting on camera every day for like 5 days. And
Hmm.
do a live. I tell people, do a live. Don't, if you set up your camera and you're like, okay, hit record, and you're like, go live. It's
Yeah.
so much easier.
Yeah.
Go live. And if you're nervous about like, oh, I don't want people to see this, go live on your lesser known platform or something that you don't usually do. Go live
Mhm.
and do it for 60 seconds and just talk about, have some notes, and ChatGPT can give you a couple of notes, and make sure that the person you're talking to or what you're talking about, that you imagine in their head, is somebody it could be a customer in the past. Or in
Mhm.
my case, I usually talk to my cousin. My cousin was like one of my first clients, and so
Nice.
I use her and I just have that conversation with her. Like right now, I'm talking to you, but I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking at
Yeah.
you. I'm looking at the camera. You just have to just start doing it over and over again to get comfortable with it.
I like the thought of having a person in mind, and
Mhm.
an idea that came to mind is like, if you're a business owner, you probably have answered client questions before.
Yeah,
So answer a question, use the question as your video. Like, oh, client asked me this. I'm going to answer this question. And
exactly.
there you go. And just like let it
Exactly.
rip. And I think one of the things I'm trying to tell myself, and I was emceeing, what was it? It was the Women Who Thrive event. We were at
Mhm.
the West Bloomfield Library, and it was a vibe. We were having a really good time. And I remember saying to a woman, and I was like, you not posting on social media is egotistical of you, because you are standing in the way of your client receiving the help that they need from you with the services that you offer. But
Yep.
you're not posting. I'm saying this to me too. But you're not posting because you're afraid to show up online and afraid to look stupid. How rude of you to stand in the way of yourself, your business, and your client who needs you, and you can help them. Like,
Exactly.
but
Exactly.
you're gatekeeping yourself.
I know you're gay. Amanda, I tell people that all the time, as well. And yeah, you're being selfish if you don't do
Yeah.
it. You have a
Yeah.
gift, you have information that somebody's going to hear out there that you
Mhm.
need to hear. And you're being selfish by not getting out there
Yeah.
online. So yeah, don't, you're not only cheating yourself, you're cheating other people. So don't be
Mhm.
selfish. Give them these amazing gifts that you have out there.
Mhm.
There's somebody for everyone out there.
Yes.
Because it's interesting, because back in the day when marketing is like you market to the masses. Now you're marketing to the one-on-one. You're marketing to a person out there, because there's somebody out there who is going to tell you, that's what I needed to hear today. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. You know me so well, because
Mhm.
we're all not that different.
Yeah.
Not different.
Yeah.
Somebody
But
needs to
it's
hear
like,
what you say.
and then when I always know when I'm like, when I did my job, when I hear the one person say it, and I look at that as a win, even
Yeah,
though that group had like hundreds of people in that room, the one person that was like, I really resonated with that. Here's my story. This is where I'm coming from. I'm like, this is my clientele. This person is
yep,
my client. I need
yes,
to then schedule a follow up 1-on-1 with this person, invite them to the programs that I'm doing. Like, I need to then close the deal. Like, you post on social, one person's like, I really resonate with that. Great. That person's like, I like this. I'm ready to close the deal. And like,
yep.
if you're just like, oh, just one person liked it and that's what you're focused on, then you lost the sale,
You
you
know what?
know?
It's so true, and that reminds me on the other side too. You know, give somebody their flowers. Tell them what that you appreciate about their what they said.
Mhm.
Go in the comments. If you're not ready yet, go into the comments and make comments. Just
Yes, that's a
respond
great
to
idea.
somebody. And if you could do a video comment, that will get you used to it as well. But just
Yeah.
comment on something that it touched you, it did something. Just give people feedback, about what they do. Don't click the like button, but type up something really quick. It takes a couple of minutes. A
Yeah.
simple like that, that mattered to me today. Make it a point. And if it's not natural, put it on your calendar and just say, I'm going to give people feedback on Friday. I'm going to go into the comments on and just do it. You become a little bit more natural at that whole conversing, in
Mhm.
these spaces a little bit more.
And those people that see the comment resonate with the comment, if you're like adding to the conversation, if you're adding another
Mhm.
tip, will then go to your page. If there's nothing on the page, then they're gonna just like be like, oh, never mind. But if they're liking your comment, enjoying your comment, it's causing a discussion, and they go back and there's something that they can latch onto or participate in. I think that's the goal, isn't it? It's to
Yeah,
have a conversation. The goal is to talk and share and learn and grow. And I think when Instagram first came out, it was much easier to like build your Instagram community because it was much smaller.
yeah,
Now it's like it's definitely a global community, but you can
yeah,
still kind of find your people by engaging online. So I think that's
yeah.
a great tip. And somebody told me there was a comment. I'll think of the name by the end of the comment. So
Mhm.
somebody asked a question and he was emceeing or moderating a panel and they were like, "Do you respond to all the comments on your posts and your pictures and all the DMs?" And he goes, "Do you respond to all the emails that come into your inbox? Do you answer every phone call that comes into your line?"
Yeah,
He was like, "Those comments and those engagements are like little phone calls, little emails. And the more you engage with those people on your page as best as you can, the
yes.
more that those people feel like they're integrated into your ecosystem."
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly, exactly. And even if you can't, like, you get 10,000 comments, even if you can't do that, but if you recognize I got a lot of comments and you tell people, I would love to engage with everybody, but I physically can't. It's just that acknowledgement, is so
mhm,
important. And I think that's what, you know, I think sometimes, especially here in the United States, people don't understand, especially when they get comments, like when fans reach out to musicians and things like that. You need to engage with people,
mhm.
because they just want to hear a little bit of it. And if you don't, it's really, there's a disconnect there.
100%. I feel like we could talk about this for so long.
I know.
It's such an interesting topic, and it's so like I feel like it's so prevalent right now. People are scared to show up. They're scared to do things. I am one of people. I am also scared to show up online, even though I show up online a lot. Like the amount of content that I have in my phone versus what I put out is like a ridiculous, like stark difference. And
Yeah.
I need to get over myself and just get that shit out of my phone because it's taking up all my space. But it's just a matter of like, I guess I have a question about like, how do you schedule out do you use like Monday.com? Like, how do you manage content and then also clients and your business? Are you posting every day? Are you like in there all the time? Or are you just like batch schedule push,
You know what? I'm definitely a batch scheduler for sure. I use the tools, I use them with my clients as well with myself.
Yeah.
And then I also use, especially if you can afford it, I use a VA as well to help me publish and get things out there.
Mm,
Um, I start everything with the content I start with is usually video because it's the quickest.
yeah.
I used to do a lot of lives, and then now I'm recording it and doing some editing of it, and then I batch it and schedule it out, and I'll schedule out like for 30 days. Like I have content scheduled out to the end of the year. But then I would go in. That's what I call hygiene content. That's content that you need every day, or not every day.
Mhm.
I don't post every day, but content that's scheduled, um, hygiene content. And then I go in with like you're going to have your ad hocs. So your
Mhm.
content that you're going to put out because there's a moment, there's something that happened in the news that you just resonate with, or you just have a feeling that you just want to put that out there. I typically may do those, like you said, a video on the phone, and then I'll just post, with that, and then go from there. That's pretty much it. So I don't really, so I do that, and then responding. I have I don't have my notifications on my phone because that'd be crazy.
Me
But I would
neither.
go
Yeah.
in and I will look at like my main platform, and I'll respond to those all the time in my main platform. But I use
Mhm.
I use different tools that kind of help me with that. Um, I have in some cases I have, especially if I'm giving a call to action, like if you want this, like I have this 55-page document on AI tools. If you
Oh,
want this document on AI tools, just DM me. All right. And so they would DM me. That's automated. My DMs know what to do, so they'll respond. And I use like AI in my DMs. I call it out.
yeah.
My DM AI is I use an owl because my website's Wise Digital Marketing, Wise Old Owl. So
Yeah.
owl's a mascot. So Owly, very, very creative name.
Cute.
Um, Owly is my AI assistant in my DMs, and it will respond back and like, all right, here you go, and things like that. Just to make it easy, because yeah, I don't have time. Don't have time for that. So I definitely
What do you use to answer your DMs? Because I'm about to implement that like today.
there's a number of different tools out there. I use a tool that's on the platform that my website is on, which is called Go High Level, and they have it built in. But the
Cool.
one tool that everybody talks about, the legendary tool, like MiniChat, is the legendary tool.
Oh,
It's called MiniChat. And they now, have embraced AI too, but you can go in and create all these different branches of workflows based on
mm,
DM responses. It could be, DM me tax, and somebody
yeah.
can get something and send off tax forms and things like that. So there's
Cool.
tools out there that allow you to do that, just to make it easy for you to
I
run
mean,
your personal brand, your business, with a small team. So
that is like, and see, I think the challenge is when you are a solopreneur or even just like a small team and you're running your
mhm,
business, you're like, oh my God, I have all these DMs coming in, or I have all this stuff. Like people are responding to the content. Like the
yeah,
revamp is coming up this weekend, and there's literally emails, questions, stuff coming from everywhere. My text messages, my phone calls, my Eventbrite, my Instagram,
mhm,
TikTok, LinkedIn, everything. Like
yep,
everywhere has a boatload of unread, and I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna get to you. But
yeah,
but I'm like doing it. This is just TMI, but I'm like doing it when I go to the bathroom. I'm doing it when
yep,
I'm walking from one room to another. And I'm just like, I don't have enough mental space to even think that there's an option to just like, I see it. I see other
mhm,
people's do automatic DMs. And I never thought to myself, like, how did I do that? Like,
yeah.
because I'm so in it. I'm like here that I don't even think that there's like, oh, we can automate this and automate that. Like, duh,
Yeah, and it's
duh.
just natural because we're doing it for a while, right? Like you said, you
Yes.
started with AOL chat, right? Somebody chatted,
Yeah.
you responded back, and so we've been living in this asynchronous world for a minute. Now you can kind of offload some of the things, but I love going like Go Level allows me to look at it as a hub, so I see everything from my socials, from my emails, everything in one spot. It's called conversations. So I could
Mm.
see all that, and I'm like, okay, this is what people are looking at, and how I should respond to it. So I just use tools like that because um I want to skip some steps. I want to try to be
Yeah.
as efficient as possible,
Yeah.
and limit the amount of time where I could do all the fun things I want to do and not
I wanna
respond
be
as every.
literally, yeah, like, I wanna be skipping. I don't wanna be like, I feel like this right now. Like, oh my God. I feel like
Yeah.
I wanna be Winnie the Pooh at the front and not Eeyore at the back. I'm like, oh my God. I'm gonna get to it. Let me just tack my clothes on with a tack on my rear end. I'm just like, but
Yeah.
it's it'll once Saturday ends, I feel like I'll have clarity and I'm like, oh, here are all the places that I felt like I had bottlenecks. And DMs
Mhm.
is one of them that I never felt before, where I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I didn't realize because we have more content going out than ever, and
Mhm.
more requests coming in than ever, which is great. This is great problems, but I'm like, this is
Yeah.
a bottleneck for me.
And
Huge.
people are using it more. I mean, I know I used to, would look you get side-eyed at DM. I'm like, how are you DMing me? Just email
Mm,
me. That's proper. But people are using it more. And so you
yeah,
have to
yeah,
embrace it.
yep,
You have to embrace it.
yeah. Like LinkedIn messages,
Yes.
I'm like, we're all behind on that. But I feel like I'm doing all the things, but I also feel like I don't have to do all the things.
Exactly. You
Why do
don't.
I have to do all the things?
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to. And I think it's like people think, oh, they see people saying they're doing all the things. They're not doing all the things.
Mm-mm.
Not at
It's too
all.
hard.
It
It's
is
so
too hard.
Yeah, that's literally why companies have employees because we cannot do this ourselves.
No,
That's a great thing.
and that's how companies, if you want to grow and you want to be a business, 7-figure, 8-figure business, you
Yeah.
gotta do this. This is how they all started.
Yep.
There's no like, I can't not do that. I know people who either poo-poo is like, I did this and I didn't have to pay for any advertising. I'm like, are you sure? You're gonna have to eventually. Advertising
Mhm.
costs. You know
Yeah.
what? It's the only way that you're gonna grow your business.
Yep.
And to look at it like negatively, I mean, yes, it is a cost, like in anything, but that's business.
Yeah, and the cost gives you income. I
It gives you
think
income.
I had a friend of mine who's an amazing business owner. She's been a solopreneur for a long time, and she said, "Oh my God, I need so much help. I feel like helpless. I need help, but I don't like asking for help." And I'm like, "Can we reframe it and say you're ready to hire your first employee and you're ready to create a job for somebody instead of being like, I need help. I can't do this by myself." But I'm like, "You're ready to hire somebody.
Yep.
You
Yep.
are employing people. This is
Yeah.
the same, we're looking at the same thing, but now you have the funds to grow your revenue channels.
Yeah.
That you're not at this point, you're not at the I'm going to pay for marketing. No, you're now ready to expand your network and
Yeah.
you have the income to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you don't need to like to hire a full-time employee. You can just contract out until you get to that point where you can create consistency with that. I know
100%.
that's what I did. I tell some of my, especially my corporate girlies, and when they make that leap, I made the leap. I was like a VP at a company,
Mm.
so I had a team. So
Yeah.
when I came into like my own agency, I'm just like, oh, wait a minute, I gotta do this again. I was like, oh, heck no. We gonna have to make some money because I need to hire this out because
Yeah.
I don't want to go. It's not like I didn't want to go backwards. I'm like, I didn't like doing it in the first place.
Right. That's why we got here.
That's why we got here. Exactly.
Yes.
So, but yeah, just get a team. I mean, I always say, if you can't start with, like I said, I started with bookkeeping because I couldn't stand it. Get a
Mhm.
VA. I tell people
Yeah.
always get a virtual assistant that can help you with that, because it's an easy hire,
Yeah.
and it will help you. And if you find a experienced one, they'll help structure folks. But it just will relieve the relief that some people feel after they've gotten that little headache off their plate. But yeah, you gotta do it.
Where do you get your
How
VA
you
from?
framed
How
it.
do you find a good VA?
You know
How did
what?
you find a good VA?
I find for referrals. I've gone
Okay.
out there to a variety of different networks. I used to belong to it. I think she's closed her Facebook group, but
Mhm.
Boss Moms, I think Dana's
Hmm.
group was a huge group. It had like over 50,000 women in there.
Wow.
And I was like, hey, who has a good VA? Because a lot of people gatekeep their VAs. They
Mhm.
like,
Because they don't want
they
the
want anybody to have it.
Right.
And I just, I just people gave me referrals from that perspective. So
Mhm.
I found that, like one of my secret weapons is I've had my VA team. I've been working with them for like the last 4+ years now,
Wow.
because they've been such a great secret weapon of mine and helping me, as well. So, but referrals are always great. And you will go through some, but as an owner, as a business owner, you really have to be very, very specific to what you're looking for. And you have to have experience in hiring. And if you don't have that
Mhm.
experience, then you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. We all do it.
Yeah.
So you're going to make mistakes. You don't have experience in hiring. You don't have experience in managing. If you recognize that, that is half the battle, and your business will
Yes.
grow from there, and they can learn from there. So,
Oh, I love it. There's so much we didn't even get to talk about K-pop. We didn't even get to talk
I
about the plus
know.
size posing workshop. Like you crushed it.
Oh gosh,
But
yes.
we're gonna try the tarot card pull again.
Right.
I really enjoyed doing it with Ashley last week. So I need you to say the numbers 1, 2, or 3. Just pick a number.
2.
All right. So you picked the Muse deck. This
Oh,
is for you.
okay.
So just embody an energy that, you're feeling. Just take a big, beautiful breath in. And we're going to pull a message for you or a topic for you that you can share a little bit more about. We're thinking about Melissa. The deck
I
is
love this. You're giving me some ideas. I'm trying to like really get my blog off the ground. My
okay.
podcast, and you're giving me some great ideas.
You're trying to get your blog off the ground. You got
Yes,
the Emperor. Is it focused?
Emperor. Oh,
There we go. The Emperor.
okay.
So the Emperor says, and she is the number 4. I love this Muse deck because it kind of takes the traditional tarot on its head
Mhm.
and makes it a little bit more modern and a little bit more like upbeat. I think it's just a very beautiful deck. So the Emperor says the keywords are success and structure, leadership, the divine masculine, planning and delivering, building and expanding an empire, legacy, a business person, a visionary, a provider, the time for strategic thinking.
Oh my goodness.
It has a story. If you want to hear it, it's short. I can read
Okay.
it to you.
Yeah, read to me.
It says she strums her fingers and sends a quartet of Borealis strings out into the sky, a simple joy, but one that she happily gifts the people below. The light serves as a reminder that there's a symphony of life around them, a bigger plan that's not always evident from every vantage point. She steps onto the solid landscape with all the strength and harmonic leadership that a powerful emperor muse can bestow, sharing her secrets of success with you. Lead confidently, graciously, empower those around you to do their very best work. Be a guardian, a provider, a steward. Revisit how you can care and provide for yourself and for others. And then her heart lightens up when she sees the happy earthly hums from the people below. The glow of contented dreams warms the top of the mountains, and peace fills the valley below as they realize that they are protected, fostered, and safe.
Wow. Wow. That is amazing. Are all the cards like that? Is all I
They
mean,
are,
'cause that's just wow.
yes.
Wow.
So, what does that make you feel about your blog? Because you brought your blog up and that popped out.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely have to add that to my plate of things to do. And you know what? Because I have half of it like ready to go. I just wanted to push the button. I'm in the process of moving. I'm buying new property. It's so
Oh, nice.
interesting. And I'm gonna move and I'm gonna redo my office. And
Mhm.
I think that's gonna be my grand opening, my grand launch, of doing this blog is when I do that office and kind of get that going. I've always been one for wow, looking down and educating and oh wow, that's
From
so
the mountaintop with this
yeah,
music, there's like this big, beautiful, earthy energy. She's dancing, she's in this movement
and
space. And like,
music. I know we haven't even gotten to
I
K-pop.
know we didn't even get to talk about that, but like there's like this beautiful, like I don't know if I can get
I
it closer. I'll
love the
send you a picture
picture.
after. I
Yeah.
will 100%. Um and I'll
Wow.
send you a picture of like what it says, but like something in me is saying to like something saying like you just vlog it out and like use
Yeah.
Descript to turn it into a blog and
Yep.
like just document your journey. Like I think it should be a dance and it shouldn't have to be so Like, I know that the content that I read, the story, it was like feeling like very structured and
Mhm.
masculine, but I'm looking at this image and it feels very feminine.
There
So
it
like
does. And
whatever play you need to be in to be both at the same time to like tap this business version of you, but also this like nurturing version of you
mhm.
and like allow
I
them
love
both.
that. I love that because yeah, it's funny you mentioned the word structure, but that image, it has like curves, there's no rigidity in it. And it's something I've been thinking about, like I mentioned before, to people, it's like, get out there and do it, We all suffer
Yeah,
from perfectionism. And
sure.
I'm like, yeah, just kind of like really go with it. And I've launched and done things and with the blog, I want to make it a little different. Earthy is
Yeah.
a great word.
I think like it should feel joyful.
Yes.
I feel like, and this is just me speaking, and I don't know if any of this is true, but it feels like you're a very strategic person. And this feels like even if you go on a whim and you do it in a creative way and in a way that brings you joy, it will still have structure and it will still like have a good foundation because you're not starting at zero. So like
Yeah.
whatever's stopping you, it's like I feel like you should something's just saying like dance into it. Just dance into it, let it out,
Yep.
start it. Start it scrappy if you have to, but like, I don't know, something about it is just like let it flow. I'm just feeling
Yeah.
this like dancey motion when I'm looking at the card is like the world wants it.
Yep. I love that.
Oh,
I love that. I feel empowered. Wow, that's
good.
great.
I'm so glad. Okay, I've got two more.
Mhm.
I want you to pick number one or number two, and this is for the person listening right now.
1.
Okay. So we got our Love Who You Are deck. That's this deck right here. And this is going to be an animal. It'll
Mm.
give us a little, or like a plant or something like that. So to the person listening right now, we'll just sense their energy, see what they need, wish them well, send them good vibes. There's a card that wants to come out, but not quite. So we'll just think about our listener,
Mhm.
what they're going through. I love the sound of cards. Okay, come on, don't be shy. One more shuffle, and then our listener. What do they need to hear right now? Just gonna pull top of the deck. Tend the fragile. It's a porcupine.
Hmm.
She's very cute.
Oh, okay. Here's a cutie.
It's kind of giving like fall vibes. It's kind of
Mhm.
giving like 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 Hobbit, not Hobbit, hermit vibes a little bit to me. So
Yeah.
10 the Fragile says, love keeps us close to the ground, where we can feel the pulse of what needs tenderness, nurture, and aid. When the world gets too loud, go into your wild silence of nature. Put your ear down to your soul and listen hard. That kind of grounding will nourish you and restore your wings. For when we tend to the delicate longings of our soul, we draw close to the love that we truly are. Oh, she's so sweet.
Oh, wow.
What's coming to me right now is like the person that's afraid to post online.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you're afraid, like you see the little butterfly like right here.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's in
Yeah.
focus.
I see it now. Yeah.
It's like it's kind of giving like I'm going on camera. It's kind of giving like this like posting online, feeling afraid, feeling a little nervous, feeling a little prickly about it, but like
Yep.
on the other end of this is like not unsafe. It's just for whatever reason it's coming like social media is just a tool, just like AI, just like any other tool that we're using. It's just a hammer, it's just
Yep.
a wrench. It cannot hurt you unless you let it. Now I'm thinking about hammering yourself on the finger.
Yeah.
If you know how to use the tool correctly, it cannot hurt you. And
Yeah.
so I'm thinking it's like envision your fear to posting online and like just pretend it's this big beautiful butterfly that can fly into a different space with you. and take you somewhere
Yeah.
else. I don't know. Is anything coming to you?
Yeah, I mean, the porcupine is like, yeah, you're prickly, typically is like you're guarded, and you just, you feel like unsure and you shield yourself, like a porcupine.
Mhm.
And it's just really to kind of get out there because they're cute. You're
They're so
cute. They
cute.
are so
Yes.
cute.
They're
Get
cute.
out there.
They have there's an audience for them. There is
Yeah,
a group of people that love
there you go.
porcupines, and
Yes,
also they protect themselves. They're part. I
exactly.
mean, it's you being afraid to post online is a form of self-protection.
Yes.
But is
Yeah,
it a form of self-protection that is still serving you right now?
exactly. Exactly. You could, yeah, get out there. And I know, yeah, it seems weird. Like, I don't want to put my business out there, but you know what? Your business, some of that business, somebody needs to hear it.
Somebody needs to hear it, and
Somebody
somebody's
needs to
literally waiting for it, and it
hear
might
it.
be the person that loves porcupines.
Yep,
They
exactly.
love porcupines. So the
Yeah.
last card I'm going to pull, I'm going to just read for the like general energy of the rest of the week. Let's just read for the general energy for the rest of our week.
Okay.
And actually, 3 cards fell. These are some badass cards. Okay, amazing. Let's just look at them. So
Okay.
I saw the Magician first. This is the number 1 card. This is literally like manifestor energy, creatrix energy. They have like literally every single one of the symbols in front of them, and they have so the infinity symbols up here and all of
Mm,
the card kind of like spades and stuff like that. Like if you've
okay.
never read tarot, it's got the pentacle, the wand, the sword, and the cup. So those are the identifiers of each of them. So they're all on the table. And
Yeah.
so this tells me that this is a new beginning. This is a start.
Mm,
This is a refresh. We just had a full moon on Tuesday.
mhm, mhm.
We were
Sure
in
did.
this like 999 portal. I'm definitely like astrology girly energy. But then we also got the sun, which is like the most positive energy in the deck, which is
Yeah.
just like gives life, gives
Mm,
light, gives
yes.
energy, creates. There's like beautiful big
Wow.
flowers. And then we got the Ace of Cups. And Ace is
Uh-huh.
always like the best in the suit, and Cups represents a lot of things. And I'm just talking from intuition right now, but like to me, it says like cup runneth over. But main focus is you. You are the number one focus. Focus on
Mhm.
your energy, focus on like building it up, in like invigorating the things that make you happy, that bring you joy. You
Mhm.
have literally every single tool at your disposal. Everything
Yeah.
that you're good at is right in front of you. You have like you have endless cups filled of abundance to like make it all happen. So like whatever you got to do it. But this seems like fresh, new, abundant beginning, joyful, bright.
Yep. I
That's the energy
love
I'm feeling.
I love that. And it's funny because you just showed that card, and on my other screen, because before we started chatting today, I'm working on a presentation, and on my other screen, I actually have an image of a sunflower. I'm a believer. Nothing is by everything happens for a reason. Everything
Yeah.
happens for a reason. And yes, when I saw those sunflowers, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got a
Mhm.
sunflower right here on my screen, an image of a
Wow.
sunflower. And so things happen for a reason. I'm a strong believer in that. I'm a spiritual person, so I believe in that. There's people say happy accidents. I'm like, there's no accidents. My steps
Mhm.
are ordered. There's a way of going through this. I may not know them, but there's a way of going through, this thing we call life on earth. And that is just so wonderful to hear, especially because, yeah, like I said, I'm investing in property, and the main thing about this property is that I'm after so many years, I'm moving back to Detroit. I live in the suburbs, but I'm moving back in.
Okay.
So that's like saying things. You just said some things that I've been
That
thinking.
feels like really
Wow.
good. Are you looking in a particular area, if you don't mind sharing?
No, I'm looking over in I'm a West Sider because I was born and raised in Detroit. West
Okay.
Sider. So, but like Woodward Corridor over near Palmer Park, that area.
Oh, so good. I mean, like, I'm looking at the cards. There's a lot of grass, there's
Mm,
flowers, there's big,
mhm.
bright blue skies. I just feel there's 3 sunflowers, and I'm just looking at it rooted in the ground. There's like flowers
Wow.
here. Some
Yeah.
reason the table is like calling me and just like giving me energy where it's like grounded. It feels grounded. And
Yeah.
I feel like even your card before is also
I
feels
love
very grounded. She's
that.
dancing, but she's sturdy, and even if we pull your card for our guest, for you,
Mhm.
it's just kind of like a very safe space,
I
a safe
love that.
structure around you. I just feel like, and this is just for everybody listening. I just feel like that energy that we pulled for everyone for the rest of the week feels really, really good. And I think I've been talking to a lot of people and they're like, I'm just at this, like, I'm at my wit's end. There's a weird cloud. And I just
Mhm.
want to say, like, it looks like the cloud is dissipated. It's gone. It's time to, like, just embrace.
Yes.
Embrace it, play, dance, do the things that make you feel good. Knock out the things that don't. Use a little AI tool to help you.
Yep.
Ask your friends to help you. I think there's nothing wrong with that. And then just like be the sun. Be the sun. I think that is
Really.
the job, is to be the sun.
Exactly. Wow.
So
Wow.
good.
This was the
Amazing.
goosebumps.
I'm so glad. I think it's just like it feels good. I needed this energy right before the swap.
Good,
Um,
good, good.
two more questions for you.
Mhm.
One, where can we find you on the internet?
Sure. It's easy to find me. You can find me on YouTube at Marketing Money Moves. So Marketing Money Moves is my YouTube channel. And then those of you who just want to join, be a part of my community. I have a great community. You can find a lot about that at wisedigitalmarketing.com. So you can
I
find out a lot
love it.
about that.
And if you could give one more piece of advice, just like a general piece of advice before we go, what would you say to our listener?
I would say this, hold on, and just keep fighting. Keep doing what you're doing. It's going to come around. You just got to keep consistently moving ahead and keep doing what you're doing. Don't give up.
Don't
I know
give
it's hard right now, but just don't.
You know what? It's like I literally was feeling like this, and I was talking to another friend of mine that, like, last week I was like, what's the point? What is the
Mhm.
point? And I feel like it's always right before the
Yep.
break
Yep.
that you want to give up, but just on the other side of the thing and it sounds so cliche and it feels very cliche to say this, but like, if I just get through this weekend, I'll remember the reason why I started this in the first place and
Yeah.
I'll participate in the joyful piece. I'm doing some of the work that I don't feel like doing, which is like answering DMs,
Yeah.
but it is part of the process and just power through. I think this don't give up, be the sun. If you need to set at the end of the day, set at the end of the day,
Really.
but just rise
Exactly.
tomorrow. Just
Yep.
rise tomorrow. Like, try again. And it's that, like, just power through. I love that. I love it
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. Just power through
Oh,
it.
I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for coming and joining me on the show today.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for the invite, and thank you for just encouraging me to get out there and get my podcast going too. So,
Melissa, you got this. I'm gonna
mhm,
tag you. Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna have you on next time.
I would love that. I would love that. Oh, yay. Thank you all so much. And I got to plug, just like every time, the Revamp Clothing Swap Festival is this Saturday. $25 ticket, Detroit Shipping Co. from 12 to 5. Literally clear out your closets. Take everything that you don't wear anymore. When I say everything, all I mean no to is underwear and bras at this point. We're finding a provider that can help us with that. But your shoes, your bags, your accessories, your pants, your skirts, anything, everything, even the stuff that's a little scuffed up, as long as it's clean, bring it, because we have artists coming, we have nonprofits coming, we have other people that may be looking for exactly the thing that you're like, should I drop it? If you don't wear it anymore, bring it. It's going to be beautiful. We have 2 stages, we have workshops, we have activations. There's going to be a DJ workshop, a dancing workshop. We're going to have some artisan workshops. So come through. We would love to see you. We'll see you on Saturday, and we will see you next week on the Let's Glow show, talking to another creative entrepreneur. Melissa, thank you so much.
Thank you. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
See you guys next week, and see you at the swap.